Good evening. Hope y'all are well. My name is Joya. Okay. I just recorded another video, so I don't know when I'm gonna post that one. But I want to talk about a book review. I don't really read, but my sister said I should start reading more for fun. So I read this book. It's called Before I Let Go. It is a 3-part book. There's 2 more books to this series. I think it's called The Skyland or something like that series. Don't quote me on it. But this book was interesting. Honestly, I literally resonated with the main character, the woman, main character. Like, I was like, she's me. Yasmin, she's me. Yasmin is me. But anyways, there's some discussion questions at the back of the book. So I'm gonna like answer these. I guess they're more so for like a group book review or book club, but I just read it by myself. So anyways, if you don't know what this book about, let me read it back so I can tell y'all. Their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah Wade found that love alone couldn't solve or save everything. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she finally started to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. Yet, like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other. And now they're beginning to wonder if they truly are ready to let go of everything they once had. Soon, one stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's all good until old wounds reopen. Is it too late for them to find forever? Or could they even be better than the second time around? So it's by Kennedy Ryan. Shout out to Kennedy Ryan. So anyways, I'm going to answer some of these discussion questions. So number 1, this is a long behind question, so bear with me. In the prologue, we see Josiah and Yasmin young and in love. Later in the book, we get a very different view of their marriage soon after Bird and Henry have died. If you haven't read the book, these people are not going to make sense to you, so this is for people that have read the book. And then we see several years. Bird is like Josiah's auntie, and Henry is Josiah and Yasmin's son that was stillborn, so he passed away. And then we see several years post-divorce. Compare and contrast their relationship dynamics in each stage. Who were they then versus who they are now? So in the prologue or in the beginning, they were this very young couple who got together, real like fun. The relationship is like all types of amazing. It's very spontaneous. It's very happy. It's all the good things. And he just I felt like Josiah just always, I felt like he's just a good guy, and I just felt like he always loved or liked Yasmin, so it was always going to be her. Like, no matter if they got separated, it was always going to be her. So when they lost Henry, which was their son that was stillborn, Yasmin, she got into a deep depression, and Josiah, he just didn't really know how to be with her, like how to deal with her rather. He was trying his best, but Yasmin kept pushing him away, to where he just was like, I don't know what else I can do. And she just wouldn't get out of bed. She was like really depressed because they lost their child. Keep in mind, they have 2 other kids as well, 2 other kids that are living. So I think from that depression led to the divorce. So Yasmin actually asked Josiah for a divorce. He didn't want a divorce. He literally said, I don't want to divorce you. We can work this out. He was like, we can work this out. But Yasmin wanted to go to therapy. Josiah was against therapy. That's important. So ultimately, that depression from losing Henry, their stillborn baby, it affected both of them to where Yasmin couldn't feel like, she said she had to either save herself or like save the marriage. And so she chose to save herself. So she decided to divorce Josiah. So they got divorced, but now they are co-parenting. They also have a business together. They have a restaurant together. So it's like they still family. He moved out. He's living down the street at another house, but they see each other often. They have kids together. They have a business together that they're running every day. So it's like, and then, years later, whatever happens, basically they have a chef this is a very long explanation, but they have a chef that starts working at their business, their joint business, and she's a woman. Her name is Vashti, I believe, and she, apparently is attractive or whatever, and so her and Josiah start to date. You know, this is her first time, it's his first time like dating anybody since the divorce. Yasmin hasn't dated as of that time. And so when Yasmin sees that Vashti is in a picture with Josiah, she like, all right, well, I gotta get me somebody. So she started dating this, I believe he's a white man. I don't remember his name. But she didn't like him. She just really didn't like him. It was just kind of like, I'm gonna get back because I like, you're not about to have somebody and I don't have nobody. And so now Josiah, he's in this relationship or whatever they were doing with Vashti, but it's like you could tell like he just wasn't all the way in. Like in the book, when Yasmin would come over to get kissed or for whatever reason, he would be describing like how she physically looked, how he just can't get her out of his mind. It'd be very graphic. I'm not gonna say what it is, but if you read the book, then you know what I mean. And it'd be very graphic, and he'd be like, "Oh, like my," ugh. And so I always knew that they were gonna get back. I didn't always know, but I had a feeling that they were always gonna get back together because even when he was with another woman, he couldn't fathom like not having Yasmin. And the fact that she was the one that asked him for a divorce, it let me know like he really didn't want to leave her. So now that they're technically dating other people, Yasmin finally decides to go out with this guy, finally gives him a chance, and like Josiah comes over to watch the kids that night, and like he sees the guy coming in, he's like trying to kiss, he sees the guy like trying to kiss Yasmin on like the cheek or something like that. Josiah's mad, like he's like mad, even though he has a whole nother woman, like that he ended up later on bringing to Thanksgiving dinner. Like they're in a full-fledged relationship, but somehow, some way, that ended. They slept together. Him and Josiah and Yasmin slept together when they went on a business trip to Charlotte, and that's what sparked them getting back together. But it was more so they were just doing grown folks things. He broke it off with Vashti before he left, so he did do that. So he wasn't cheating, and then they just started fooling around. Eventually, they decided to get back together, and then years later they got remarried, or I think they got engaged. It ended where they got re-engaged. So I think the dynamics of all of that just kind of shows that like I'm a firm believer in that we can fall in love multiple times maybe in life, but I think it's always just that one person that we just like, it's always you. It's always like, I think we can love somebody. I think we can have love, like, you know what I mean? I think we can get married again, but it's always that one person. And so it's very interesting because this person I know, this lady I know, her husband died. And now she is a whole remarried woman, but she always posts about her ex-husband. Like, and she'll like, to the point where she put her first name, her married name from the first husband, and then her second name from the second husband, like together. And she'll tag both of the men. Keep in mind, one is dead. But it's like that's her husband. Even though this lady is remarried in a whole nother marriage, this is real life too, a whole nother marriage, she still tags her ex-husband who is deceased. Because that's her love. Like that's her love. Even though she with a whole nother man. I don't know about you, but me personally, if I married a man and he lost his first wife, he better not don't tag me and your dead wife in a post. But it just kind of let me know when I think about that situation in this book, like it's always just that one. And Josiah always knew Yasmin was the one. And she always knew he was the one. That's why she wasn't really out here dating and all that kind of stuff. That was a long answer, but anyways, I might not do all these questions though. Number 2, details of the 2 catastrophic losses in Yasmin's subsequent depression unfold over the course of the first few chapters. What emotions did you feel as it became clear what had happened and how Yasmin had responded? So let's talk about Henry first, which is their stillborn, that baby. So it was sad. Like I didn't really know how to feel because I've had friends that have had children that have gone to the NICU, but none of them that I can think of were stillborn. So, and I've had to, I visited some in the NICU. So, and I know how sad that was for them, and then sad for me because that's my friend baby in the NICU, but never one that was dead when it came out. So I don't even know how to feel. I don't even know how you move on from that, how you get over that, how you navigate that, plus trying to keep your marriage alive and still parent your other kids. So my heart went out to Yasmin in that regard. And then with Bird, which was, I believe, Josiah's aunt, she died as well. So she was like the person that raised him, I believe. So, I don't, how do you move on from death like that? Somebody that raised you. they're not your parental person, but they still had a very parental part in your life. And I felt sad because in the book later on, Josiah finally agreed to go to therapy, but he went there by himself first. And in doing that therapy, he started to talk about Bird's death and how it like really affected him. And that's the first time he ever like really let somebody in to like feel the sadness of the death. So it was very interesting to see and very admirable that he was able to talk about that. Question 3. What were your first impressions of Yasmin's two closest friends, Soledad and Hendrix? Okay, I'll answer that first. This is like a 3-part question. My first impressions of Soledad, she is the traditional housewife, very complacent, very do what her man say, shut up. Like, she had dreams, she had goals, she wanted, I guess she was like good at, I think, like interior design or something like that. And like her husband was like, nah, you take care of these kids. Like he was just very like that. And so she was just that very good housewife. So I can't relate to that. I'm not the shut up type of woman. That's not me. But that's more so what Soledad, how I portray her to be. And then Hendrix was the more wild friend, the more I'm gonna say what I want to say. That's not me either. That's why I say I'm like Yasmin. Yasmin is me through and through. If you know me and you read this book, then you know I'm like Yasmin. So I think sometimes you need different balancing personalities in friend groups, and so I can kind of see some of my friends and some of Soledad and Hendrix and even Yasmin. How did they help with Yasmin's recovery? I think they were just there. Sometimes I feel like Hendrix did try to push too hard, like to have Yasmin open up when she wasn't ready, and I didn't really like that. But they were just there when she needed them to be. How are the women like, and in what ways are they different? I think I kind of talked about that. So, Yasmin comes home. Question 4. Yasmin comes home to find Vashti having dinner and playing games with the kids and Josiah. How did you feel about Yasmin's response? Honestly, I don't remember her response to be 100% because I read this book like a month ago, and I've already started another book. But I don't know. I can't remember what it was exactly, so I'm gonna skip that. I can't remember the response. Number 5. How did reading Josiah's point of view affect your impression of him after the opening chapters of the book from Yasmin? It was just good to see, like, this man, he never stopped loving his wife. Like, he still thought, after having 2 kids and having a stillborn baby and going through all this, like, he still thought she was the finest thing in the world. Like, that is what I want. Like, it was just like, he still thinks this woman is the most beautiful woman on earth. Even though she done divorced his butt, she done left him, she told him, kid rocks, dude. Like, he still just thinks so highly of her, not even just physically, but like her business acumen. Like, he still trusts her. Like, to still, you gotta still have some type of trust to get divorced by a woman and still want to be in business with her. You know what I mean? So I just love it. Like, he never stopped loving her. Like, it was apparent. That was his woman, period. Therapy, question 6. Therapy plays a huge role in the book, and there is a lot of discussions about grief and depression. In some circles, therapy is still stigmatized. It is. How did therapy and perceptions about therapy impact the characters and their stories? I will say, like I said earlier, Yasmin wanted Josiah to go to therapy before they got divorced. He said, I'm not going to therapy. They got divorced. Years later, now their son, this is what actually drove Josiah to go to therapy. I think this is important. Their son, he was like there was some type of issues in school. It wasn't like behavioral. It was just like he was like bored. And so he would do all his work and he'd be bored. So the teacher felt like he was an overachiever. And so she wanted him to talk to a therapist to maybe see if there was something else going on, because he's still kind of withdrawn, but he's super smart, so he can skip grades. And Josiah was like, listen, son, your teacher thinks you should talk to a therapist. And he wasn't, their son wasn't feeling it. But Josiah was like, listen, I'll go. Like, if you go, I'll go to therapy. And then their son was like, really, Dad? And so that's really what drove Josiah to therapy, his child. And it's sad though, like when I think about it, that his marriage to Yasmin, as much as he loved her, he didn't go to therapy for her, but he went for their child. And that's admirable, respected. But it's like, this your wife. If it wasn't for your wife, you wouldn't even have this child. So you fought harder and you went harder for going to therapy for your child, but not for your woman. So I think it impacted them drastically, because it helped not only their son, because now he's going to therapy, he's liking it, he's, finding his groove. He gets to skip grades because he's smart. And then it also helps Josiah, because now Josiah is not having this wall up. He's not like, oh, I just can't cry. Like, now he's crying. He's feeling the emotions that he needs to feel after everything that he's gone through, with not only his, the deaths of all the people, but his wife leaving him, divorcing him, the kids, sometimes not liking, the situation. He got to go back and forth between houses. They co-parenting, like all those things. Therapy was able to help him navigate it and get a safe space. So I do love that. Did it change your view? And then Yasmin also was in therapy as well. Did it change your views in any way? It did not. I think therapy is a beautiful thing. I think it's needed, and we need to be in therapy. Most people, not everybody, but I think a huge majority of people should get therapy at least once in their life. What were some of the things the story asked you to consider about grief and depression? That to see it from another person's perspective. And I think Josiah, he was just kind of like, man, listen, I know we lost our baby. I know. But we have to move on. We still got bills. And that's true. But what a woman's body goes through to have to carry a child and then deliver a dead baby and then just have to get up and move on, I think that's heartbreaking. And I think if he had really sat down more so and tried to understand where she was coming from, then it would have been a different situation. So it's 12 questions, but I'm not going to go through all of them. Let me see. Okay, this is an interesting question. Question 10. Did you understand Yasmin and Josiah's rationale for keeping their affair a secret at first? Yes, because I don't even think they knew what they wanted. Like, I don't even know if they knew they wanted to be back together. They just knew that they wanted to do what grown folks did. So, and they have children, and I think they just didn't want to confuse their kids, because they're like, we just got divorced. We got divorced years ago. Now we back together. Are we? Like, I don't think they knew what they wanted. So I think it was okay. It was justifiable to keep it secret. Do you agree with their response? I do. With their reasons? I do. I think it was, they were ready to tell them when they finally got to a place where they knew what they wanted. Because Yasmin was like, well, we don't have to like get in a relationship again. We don't have to get married. We can just fool around and just do this. So it got to a point where she realized she wasn't built for that life and she wanted commitment. Because I believe Hendrix, one of Yasmin's friends, brought up the fact that, like, would you care if he sleep with another woman while y'all sleeping together? And I think that's when Yasmin realized we're not in a relationship. We're definitely not monogamous. So, you know what I mean? And I think that kind of sparked her, like, okay, we need to get some ground rules. Like, I need to figure this out. We need to talk about what we actually want. So I think that was, that's good. Because sometimes you need that clarity. Like, you don't want to just be thinking that something is one way and then it's really not. There's some debate, question 12. There's some debate about what makes a romance novel and how it should end. If Yasmin and Josiah had decided not to remarry but took a page from Hen and Mary's book, I'm assuming that's one of her other books, would you consider it a happily ever after? No, I wouldn't. Because I believe in marriage, and I believe, if you're going to be doing what grown folks do, you should do it in marriage. But I don't think so, because I don't think they would have just kept fooling around forever. No commitment, no marriage. I wouldn't consider it happily ever after if they decided not to remarry. Do you agree with their decision to remarry? Yeah, absolutely. I think they loved each other. It was always apparent. It was always going to be them. It was never going to be nobody else. He didn't want another woman. She didn't want another man. It just, circumstances drifted them apart, but they found their way back. So, yeah, I liked it. Before all that go, I am currently in a different book, which is totally different, self-help. It's called The Good Life. The Good Life. The Good Life. And essentially, this book is just about a Harvard study, and basically what makes people happy, what makes a good life a good life. So it's a self-help book. After I finish this, I plan to read the second book in the series, which is called This Could Be Us. This is about, I believe this is Hendrix's story. No, Soledad. So this was about Yasmin. Second book is about Soledad, and the third book I believe is about Hendrix. So yeah. Anyways, that's my book review. Hope y'all liked it. It was a little lengthy, but that's okay. Have you read Before I Let Go? If you have, let me know your thoughts. I thought it was a cute book. I was crying. Like, I am emotional in life now. Like, I cry about everything. So I was crying, and then some of the illicit scenes, I was like, oh, like, I should not be reading this. Like, this is a lot. Like, yeah. But I did cry sometimes, but I'm just like, dang, like, love is that deep. Like, if you've ever been in love, then you understand. Like, love is, it's all consuming. So anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. As always, stay grateful, stay faithful, stay consistent.